Okay, question 5 on 2.8, right? Now, verify that x minus 1 is a factor of this. If x minus 1 is the factor, this means x equals 1 is the root. F of x is the function shown in the question. It's x cubed minus 2k plus 1 x squared. I'm going to have to have enough space for it, so just make sure you have enough space. Plus k squared plus 2k times x minus k squared. Now, what you got to realize here is, if I replace all x's with 1, my answer has to be 0. That's what roots do. Anytime you know something's a factor, you then know what the root is, and the root, when you replace x with the what number the root is, it automatically has to turn that equal to 0. That's what a root is. Okay, so I'm going to replace all x's with 1s. 1 cubed minus 2k plus 1 by 1 squared plus k squared plus 2k times 1 minus k squared equals 0. Now, what we know is this is the number 1. 1 cubed is 1. 1 squared is also 1. Now, we're multiplying. See the 1 here? I'm going to move the 1 here. Okay? What I'm in effect doing is I'm basically saying minus 3 multiplied by 2. It's the same thing as minus 2 multiplied by 3. I'm just moving the 1 forward. Okay? So I'm going to get is minus 2k minus 1 plus k squared plus 2k minus k squared equals 0. As it turns out, I'm not going to get a quadratic equation because the k squareds are going to cancel.
It's 1 minus 2k minus 1.
Sorry?
It's 1 minus, you forgot the 1 cubed.
Yeah, you got the...
Oh, the 1 cubed. Okay. But lads, verify it's a factor basically just means that you're going to get 0. So as it turns out, everything cancels, and you're going to get 0 equals 0. The fact that f of 1 equals 0 verifies that x minus 1 is a factor. We aren't asked to solve for k, we're just asked to prove that is a factor. Okay? So to prove that's a factor, if x minus 1 is a factor, then f of 1 has to equal 0. We just proved it. Okay? Next one, number 8. Okay? Let's read this very closely. If x minus 1 is a factor, this means that, go over to 1, this means that x equals a half is a root. Right, we'll keep reading. Polynomial basically means this here. A bunch of x cubes, x squared is your polynomial. This time we're finding the value of k, hence find the other two factors of x. What we need to do, once again, is we know that f of a half has to equal 0. Okay? Replace all x's with halves. So what we're going to get is f of a half is going to be 2 times a half cubed minus 5 times a half squared minus k times a half plus 3. All that has to equal 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let the calculator do the bulk of the work. So it's going to be 2 times a half cubed. Okay, and then I'm going to do minus 5 times a half squared. And then I'm going to do plus 3. I'm not going to worry about the k. It's going to be 2. 2 minus a half k equals 0. A half k equals 2. Bring up to 2. K equals 4. That's it. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah.
What we now know is that k equals 4. And what we get is k equals 4 means that all I got to do is replace k with 4. Now, to find the other factors, what I'm going to have to do is divide in by 2x minus 1. And 2x cubed divided by 2x. Anybody? x squared. Multiply it out. 2x cubed minus 1x squared. Make a minus. That one's a plus. That one should always cancel. Then we get minus 4x squared. Bring down the 4x. Once again, have a look underneath. 2x goes into minus 4x squared. Minus 2x times. That's going to get you minus 4x squared plus 2x. We haven't changed the signs yet. So what happens is we're going to go down, change the signs. And what we should get is plus this one, minus this one. Minus 6x plus 3. You should be smiling to yourself now because you know that this one, if you've done it correctly, it divides unequally. Very rare will it divide unequally and you get it wrong. So minus 6x divided by 2x is minus 3. Multiply them by minus 3. You're going to get minus 6x plus 3. Then you got to take them away, change the signs, and you get 0. You now know that this polynomial here is the same thing as 2x minus 1 multiplied by x squared minus 2x minus 3. It's actually the same thing. Now, the problem with this area is that you haven't found the other two factors yet. The other two factors come from doing the reference number on this part here. The reference number is minus 3, so it's going to be x minus 3 x plus 1, and there's your other two factors. Okay, any questions? Step 1, factorize x squared plus 1x. It's plus 1x minus 6. Reference number of minus 6 breaks up into plus 3 minus 2. This gives you x plus 3, x minus 2. Now, let f of x, this is a polynomial, it's px cubed plus x squared minus 20x plus q. P and q are constants. This means they're normal numbers, something like 5, minus 10. Given that this is a factor of f of x, this means it divides unequally. Find the value of p and the value of q. Now, what I would do with you guys is, I would say, okay, I broke up x squared plus x minus 6 into these two brackets here. This means that individually x plus 3 is a factor and individually x minus 2 is a factor. This means that x equals minus 3 is a root. Also means that x equals 2 is a root. By the definition of the factor term, which means that if x equals minus 3 is a root and x equals 2 a root, this means the following. It means f of 2 must equal 0 and f of minus 3 must also equal 0. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to replace all x's with 2's and all x's with minus 3's and see what two formulas we get. First one is f of 2, which is going to be p times 2 cubed plus 2 squared minus 20 times 2 plus q equals 0. 8p plus 4 minus 40 plus q equals 0. Then we're going to, the two of these together, underlined in red, are minus 36. When I bring it over to the other side, it's going to be plus 36. So I'm going to get 8p plus q equals 36. That's 1/2 of a simultaneous equation. The next one is f of minus 3, which I'll do in green. F of minus 3. And what we'll get here is p times minus 3 cubed plus minus 3 cubed minus 20 times minus 3 plus q equals 0. Now, minus 3 cubed is minus 27p.
What's the math?
Plus 9 minus 20 by minus 3 plus 60 plus q equals 0. That is number 69. Alright. and the number 69 gets transferred over the other side to become minus 69. So we have minus 27p plus q equals minus 69. I'm currently looking up at the other one that has a plus q in it. Because it has a plus q, I'm going to now multiply by minus 1 to get me a minus. Okay, write out your simultaneous equation, but before I write out the simultaneous equation, I'm going to multiply both of these by minus 1. So I'm going to get 27p minus q equals plus 69. Then I'm going to put the other one underneath it. The 8p plus q equals 36. Now what I'm going to get here is the numbers are looking good because it's going to be 35p equals 105, and that's a very convenient number because p will be equal to 3. Okay, we now know that p equals 3. What you do is you pick either equation A or equation B to find out what q is. You're going to pick equation B. 8 times 3 plus q equals 36. This is me using equation B. 24 plus q equals 36. Bring the 24 over to your side. Q equals 36 minus 24. Q equals 12. Okay.